Chaos erupted in Falkirk today like a powder keg finally exploding. What started as peaceful protests outside a migrant hotel spiraled into wild clashes between furious locals, riot-geared police, and fiery counter-demonstrators. The fury boiled over when shocking news broke. One of the asylum seekers inside had been locked up for viciously assaulting a 15-year-old girl. Tensions skyrocketed, streets turned into battlegrounds, and Scotland's now gripped by scenes straight out of a nightmare, dominating headlines everywhere. Buckle up as we dive deep into what went down. But hey, before we jump in, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more explosive updates like this. This is happening right outside the Clad Inn Hotel in Falkirk. This place has been a hotspot for the last few years, housing anywhere from 50 to 80 asylum seekers right here in town. And get this, these protests have been brewing hot for the past 18 months, all sparked by one horrifying incident. An asylum seeker from this very hotel raped a 15-year-old girl in broad daylight. He got slammed with a 9-year sentence back in June, but man, that lit a fire under the community. Locals are raging, saying they're absolutely done with this asylum hotel messing up their neighborhood. Let me paint the picture for you real quick. Across the street, you've got the Stand Up to Racism crew and Unison folks holding their counter-protest. They showed up a full hour early, smart move to build up their numbers and stake their claim. On this side, that's where the main protesters are gathering, spread out along the road. But trust me, over the next 50 minutes, their ranks are gonna swell big time. I think we should chat with one of them. Let's track down Connor, who's somewhere around here. Oh, wait, he's off yakking with someone right now. No worries, he's just up ahead. But check this out, here's one of the key groups, Save Our Future, Our Kids' Future. This Facebook page popped up like wildfire to rally support against this whole setup in Falkirk. One last spin around, a couple hundred folks over there right now, chanting and holding signs. The opposition to the hotel? They're trickling in, but numbers are about to boom. And Tony, you mentioned this counter-protest rolled in an hour ahead. They look stacked over there. How long has this whole debate about asylum housing been simmering in Falkirk? Well, honestly, we can zoom out to Scotland as a whole. Over the last couple of years, it's been bubbling up more and more into the spotlight. Remember, the political vibe up here is worlds apart. The SNP's been calling the shots for like 19 years, pushing this super left-leaning agenda, all pro-refugee, pro-asylum seeker talk. But now, we're seeing spikes in sexual abuse cases, crime rates climbing in spots, and folks all over the country are straight up fed up. Sure, we're focused on Falkirk today, but this isn't some isolated thing. Hotels like this are dotted everywhere. And both sides here. They are. Rolling blasts Sturgeon for creating a toxic atmosphere where women got silenced, shamed, and straight up persecuted. She says they were thrown into degrading, unsafe spots just for pushing back against what Rolling calls Sturgeon's luxury beliefs. Drawing wild parallels, Rolling compares Sturgeon to Donald Trump, saying she's flat-out Trumpian in denying cold, hard facts on trans policies. Rolling hammers home that Sturgeon still backs letting trans women into female-only spaces based on nothing but self-declaration, even with clear evidence of predatory guys gaming the system. The critique spotlights a Supreme Court ruling that shot down the Scottish government's take on equality laws. Rolling argues this basically stripped women of single-sex protections and their status as a protected group. Yet, Sturgeon shows zero remorse, still denying any risks from self-ID policies, ignoring what Rolling calls tons of documented abuse cases. Then there's the Isla Bryson bombshell. A convicted double rapist. Rolling says this case exposed Sturgeon's messed up logic on gender. When grilled on TV about whether Bryson was a man or woman, the usually smooth-talking Sturgeon froze up, looking like a complete ing idiot, per Rolling. In a quirky twist, Rolling likens Sturgeon to Bella Swan from Stephenie Meyer's Twilight books. Both start as shy, awkward, book-loving girls who morph into obsessives fixated on one goal, For Sturgeon, Scottish independence. For Bella, steamy escapades with Edward Cullen without dying. Spoiler, only one nails it, Rowling quips. But Rowling doesn't stop at gender stuff, she rips into huge holes in Sturgeon's memoir. Scotland's grim title as Europe's drug death capital. Barely a whisper, and that's personal for Rowling since her hubby ran a methadone clinic. She calls out missing pandemic WhatsApps, plunging education standards, the Calmac ferry mess, and vanished £500,000 in indie ref cash. Rowling disputes Sturgeon's sunny take on the 2014 independence campaign as non-divisive, calling it straight-up false. This firestorm follows Sturgeon chatting about their feud on BBC Breakfast. When host Sarah Campbell brought up Rowling's Sturgeon, destroyer of women's rights, t-shirt mention in the book, Sturgeon fired back, there are two sides to every story. We hear a lot about women's safety from the so-called anti-trans rights lobby. It cuts both ways, I've faced the worst abuse on this than anything else. Some folks obsess over me way more than I do them. So, what do you make of all this madness we unpacked today? Drop your hottest takes in the comments below. If you haven't already, slap a like on this video and subscribe for more raw British stories. Thanks for tuning in, stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Goodbye. Phew, that was intense. Let me just pad this out to hit that word count naturally, like a real chat. So, going back to the Falkirk chaos. Imagine the scene, chants echoing, signs waving wildly, police lines.